I started off college, went to TCU. Freshman year, I did not really understand college baseball at all. Struggled a little bit in the fall, but had a good enough. We do a little purple and white World Series where we play and scrimmage each other, and I did well enough in that they were like, we could see the potential in him. Let's keep him on the team. And then they did ask me to redshirt and I said that I didn't really want to. I wanted to play, and they gave me a few at bats. And in my first start, I actually hit a backside home run, which was great. But then I struggled in other ways, and I just really wasn't ready mentally for that college baseball piece. But then after that, I didn't really think I'd learn anything. I went into summer ball and I was like, all right, I'm just going to attack summer ball and prove that I'm better. Like I thought I was good enough to be playing at the time. And I was like, I want to prove that I'm good enough right now, right now. And I played summer ball. I think I stole like 30 bases in the first half. And they wanted me to come back. And I was like, sure, I'll come back. And I went back to TCU and I struggled again in the fall. And I couldn't really figure out why, right? It wasn't really a work thing. It wasn't anything like that. And so I was like, why am I struggling? And I was struggling into a point where I was like, this sucks, right? And they told me after the winter break that they're like, you're probably not going to get at bats. And I did ask them when I came back, I was like, please tell me if I'm not going to play that much. And they did. And they said, you can go to an Ivy League school. We'll help you get to an Ivy League school, which was super nice of them because they were liked who I was as a person. They just didn't think I was a good fit at TCU, right? And so they helped me find a way to do that. But I said, no, I'm going to bet on myself. I want to go to JUCO. Went to Central. And at Central, I struggled just as much at the beginning. And about halfway through the season, I was only hitting like 300, maybe not even 300, and I had 0 home runs. So that's not going to get you, if you play JUCO, that's not going to get you back to a D1. And my coach kind of had a sit down with me. So he's like, you're good as a leader. You're good as this. But like, I need you to show up as a hitter, right? I need you to show the power that you have. And he's like, what I want you to do in the next game is swing as hard as you can. And I thought that was kind of crazy, right? Swing as hard as I can. But sure enough, I did. And I hit 2 home runs that game. And then from that point on, I kept hitting. I think like 7 home runs that month. And I finished with a lot of home runs. And I hit like 350 or somewhere around there and did really, really well. And then I still wasn't sure why I struggled at TCU at that point, right? I thought it was just I wasn't playing free. And it was as simple as that. And then I went to LMU. We worked on routines. Then I went and hit with Micah Franklin. I got better at that stuff, right? I started hitting better, doing things like that. But then the season came, and I struggled even worse than I had at any point in my career, right? And I was getting to play every day, and there was no hiding from it, no hiding from any of those things. And I finished the season, and I was like, this was awful, right? We lost every game. We only won 12 games. I wasn't really part of a team. We were really cliquey. I was struggling in my own way. And I had to sit down with my coach. We do our little exit meetings, and he said, you need to be a better teammate. You need to hang out with your teammate more, and you focus too much on baseball, right? I thought it was all about working hard, and I'll get better at baseball. But baseball's not a sport like that. So what I was doing is I was kind of isolating myself from my team because I was working out twice a day. I was doing this, I was doing that, and not hanging out with the guys. So this summer, he told me, hang out with the guys as much as you can. And I did that. I hung out as much as I could, stayed up late, did everything that kind of in a way that you would think is backwards to finding success. And in doing that, I realized that that's what I was missing from TCU. That's what I was missing from high school even. That's what I was missing all along the way is I wasn't really a good team guy. I wasn't hanging out with the guys as much as I should. I wasn't listening to what they had to say. I wasn't building the relationship that helps with a team sport. And in doing so, I was so focused on myself, so focused on how my performance was that I was limiting myself. And by doing that, I freed myself. I had a much better summer, made the all-star team in the summer league I was in with the Ridgefield Raptors. And it was just a completely night and day change. And the reality is it had nothing to do with hard work and had everything to do with being that teammate and doing something to get your mind off of baseball. And it does get you better and more athletic. And athleticism is one factor, but it's not everything, guys. So by doing that, find as many hobbies as you can while still being able to stay focused and disciplined. Still get your listens, still get everything you can in. But let's say there's one night where your boys are staying out till 2 a.m., go and hang out with them. Or there's something that you want to do that's off the side, just do it. And it's not going to throw you off of your game, especially when baseball is like, in my opinion, so much more mental than physical. My mind was so free that I trusted my teammates, that we were hanging out, we were doing that my athleticism could shine through. I was really just a see ball, hit ball type of thing versus being so in my head, so obsessed in that type of way.